Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. Normally, I don't shoot lives at this time of the day. Normally, all of my video activity is taken care of in the first half of the day, and I sort of close out my day with other tasks. But I have just launched a new promotion for my book, Critical Mass, that I want to tell you about. And I kind of wanted to talk to you about the importance of getting started on your next level in reaching critical mass in your life. I wanted to kind of talk to you about the importance of that. Those of you who catch me in the morning, you know what I stand for, what I talk about, and how I handle my clients. I want to share the word possibility with everybody that will listen. I want to share the expertise and the techniques I use with my clients as much as possible through these videos. I unleash my mind. When people talk to me, every person who works in the area of life change, whether you want to call them a life coach, a life strategist, a mentalist, whatever you want to call them, they have areas in which they excel. They may be good at one thing. Hey, how you doing, Suzette? They may be good at a certain thing here and there, but there's one thing that they really strive in. People ask me, what is the area that I excel at? I've taken over 30 years to get to where I'm at now, starting with psychology, moving from psychology to neuro-linguistic programming, from neuro-linguistic programming to neuro-associative conditioning, from there back to psycho-cybernetics, from there to quantum physics and a number of other things. My whole goal was to understand what it takes to make a person perform at the highest level, what causes people to do things. If a person is doing something they don't want to do that's working against them, what's the best and the quickest and the most lasting way to change that behavior? And it all starts with the mind. So what I ultimately became, and what I pretty much refer to myself as, is a mind freak. I am a mind freak. I peek into the minds of people and I see the things that are blocking them. And there's always some type of limiting belief, some type of belief that leads to procrastination, that leads to subverting what they should be doing. All these different things have causality. There's the universal law of cause and effect that says for everything that happens, there's a cause. Well, if something you're doing is something you shouldn't be doing, there's a reason for it. I'm the person that lives to do that. When it comes down to the concept of critical mass, it comes from a term that is used in wow, drew a blank real quick. Well, I can't believe I drew a blank. In nuclear physics. Wow, going off. In nuclear physics, critical mass is the accumulation of all of the components necessary to create and sustain a specific nuclear reaction or a nuclear event. In life, critical mass is the accumulation and the development and refinement of all the components necessary to reach the height of performance in every area of your life, from relationships like marriage, parenting, partnerships in business, leadership roles, whatever, to finance, to entrepreneurship, to education. There are components that are necessary, and the major component is your thinking. Your brain has unlimited capacity. You have a brain that only weighs about 3 pounds, but has the capacity to process 4 billion bits of information per second. Now, what you do with your brain is going to determine where you end up. A lot of people have filled their brains with beliefs that work against them. Beliefs about money, beliefs about relationships, beliefs about school, beliefs about their self and their ability to perform. They're functioning through what I call faulty paradigms. A paradigm is simply the lens through which you view life. And what happens is you build these paradigms based off of your experiences, based off of what people tell you, and so many other things. And what I do is I find these faulty paradigms and I help you create a paradigm shift. I help you look at life differently. I help you see yourself differently. I help you get rid of the limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs will corner you in. There are literally no limitations to what you can do. And we're proving that over and over again in life. Everything that was once thought impossible has eventually been proven to be possible by those who are willing to step outside of the boundaries of what social belief systems and constructs had created. And it's that belief that has led to constant advancements in technology, constant advancements in the way we use our brains. There's so much more that can be done when you believe. You can call it faith, you can call it belief, you can call it expectation, but wherever that is set at, whatever your thermostat is set at as far as what you expect out of life, that's what you're going to get. Depending on what your faith system is based on, whether it's God, whether it's your universe, spirituality, whatever it is, God, life, the universe is only going to meet you at the level of your expectations. I wrote this book to give people a peek inside of my mind, to see how I think, how I move, and what I've been able to do with my life, what I've been able to do with the people that I've worked with, and to talk about how do you get from nobody wanting to publish your book to publishing 20 books? How do you get to coming from an impoverished neighborhood to doing some exceptional and extraordinary things financially and in business? How do you get to a point to where you come from a place where you are an afterthought to being a public speaker, to traveling around the world, to doing a bunch of different things that at one point no one would ever thought I would have done, and still pushing and thriving? Yes, there have been some setbacks, there have been some major hits. That's a part of life. Anybody that tells you they've coasted through life and never had any adversity, I wouldn't get anywhere close to them. I wouldn't trust them, because I don't know anyone that wasn't shaped by adversity. Adversity is the fertile soil where faith is planted and cultivated. It's in adversity where you build your strength mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and physically. It is in adversity that you are proven to be prepared. One thing that I've always said, if you've listened to me in the morning, you've heard me say, look, when I get pinned against the wall, when I am down on my back, at the point in time I hit rock bottom, after doing all the things that I did, I hit rock bottom. And this was before I got to doing the books and all that stuff on a consistent. This was before it was Rick Wallace, the person you see now. It was Rick Wallace, the entrepreneur, primarily chasing money. And when I hit rock bottom from that experience, I failed and I tumbled and I hit it. And people ask me, how did you get through it? And the only thing I knew when I was at rock bottom, I didn't know how I was going to get out. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what my next move would be business-wise. All I knew was this one thing. And I looked myself in the eye, in the mirror, and I said, Rick, you're built for this. And I looked myself and I said, I'm built for this. I'm built for this. And that's been my battle cry. I am built for this. I don't care what I'm going up against. I don't care what I'm dealing with. And you're built for the battle as well. You may not know it yet, but I guarantee you, you have everything inside of you to make it. The problem is that we have so many things going on. We got the sweet nothings of negativity being whispered in our ear by minimal-minded people who've already quit on their dreams. We have people, hello, Donna. We have people who are sitting up trying to figure it out, and everybody in your circle are naysayers. You're going to have to build a circle, because this is what I can tell you. You're going to basically end up being the average of the five people you spend the most time around. It's just the way the force of life is. Social learning theory, so many other things that tend to work for us. Something my 11th grade English teacher used to tell me all the time, said, Roderick, don't hang around them. Don't hang around them, because association brings assimilation. If you're around them too much, you're going to start to behave like them, act like them, think like them, and you're going to lose your edge. You're going to lose this focus that you have that most people your age don't have. And so what am I trying to get to you? I'm trying to get you to understand that the people we'll hang around have an idea of what's possible. And what happens is when you try to climb out of that box that you've been placed in by society, maybe even by your parents, your school teachers, they've given you their opinion of who you are, what you're capable of, what you're going to do in life. And you're in this box, but then one day you decide that you're going to climb out of this box. One day you decide that you're going to rise to a new level, that you're going to start to live at the level of your design, that you're going to start to honor the creator by living out the fullness and assignment that is indicative or indicated and represented in your design. What happens? The moment you start to rise out of that box, you convict everyone in it of their mediocrity. The moment you decide you're going to rise, the very act of coming out of something that everybody in that box has said they couldn't do is a conviction that everything that they've said they couldn't do and the reasons behind it were nothing more than excuses. When you come from the same background, when you come from a situation where you didn't know your father or didn't know your mother, you come from a situation where all you saw was poverty, you come from a situation where you were molested as a child, you come from a situation where you weren't good in academics, but all of a sudden, all of you are in this box and all of you are okay because everybody's got the same story. So it's always a reason why you can't make it out. It's always somebody or something to point the finger at. But all of a sudden you decide, I don't want the luggage anymore. I'm dropping the baggage. I'm climbing out of this thing. I'm chasing my destiny. I'm going to rise up and be everything God designed me to be. I'm going to slay giants. All of a sudden your ascension is a conviction of their mediocrity. It says everything that they've been saying to that point was a lie, that it is possible. And rather than rise with you, they'll find a way to bring you down. They'll tell you and remind you of all the mistakes you made in the past, all of the failures. What you got to do is you got to find people that's been where you're going. You got to find people that can see the greatness inside of you despite the outer shell. You've got to find people that'll fan your flames, and then you'll begin to rise. And so, I'll be honest with you. The prices that I charge to actually work with a client, anywhere from my bronze package, which is 12 sessions, up to my platinum package, which is 52 sessions, is out of the reach of some people. And I'm always looking for ways to work with people just to touch them. Maybe I can't spend 12 weeks with you or 12 sessions with you, but what I can do is share a moment with you. And so what I decided to do for anyone who purchases this book, this is within everybody's reach. If you're really serious about doing something with your life, you can purchase a book. You should be reading about 3 or 4 of these a month. The studies show that the average American only reads 1 book a month, but those who are the top 4% in performing in whatever area they are in are reading 3 and 4 books. Your top CEOs are reading 3 and 4 books a month. At the peak, and I'm still reading close to that, but at the peak, for about 7 years, at the peak, I was studying John Wesley, who is the father of the Methodist movement, known as the Great Revivalist. And I was just studying it, trying to get an idea of how he built that. There was no internet when John Wesley built the Methodist movement. There was no internet. There was no telephone. There was none of that, but he did it. And so I was looking at it, and that was his point where he was trying to develop and grow himself. And he said to himself, I'm going to read 100 books. And you got to think again, still, that wasn't this mass access that we have now to books. And you can PDF almost anything now. You can read it on screen. You can go to the library. So many things he didn't really have at his access, but he read 100 books a year. So I committed to doing that. And for like 7 years, I did it. I stopped counting a while ago, but I'm still reading maybe 5 books minimum a month. And there's power in that. So you should be investing. That's one investment everybody should be making in them. When you buy this book, signed copy, and the great thing that I did with the way I set this book up is it's distributed at Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble is distributed at Amazon, Sony Books, Kobo, and another number of other the major distributors. But I decided that those that bought the book directly from me would pay a lesser price, which is normally the opposite. Normally the price is cheaper when you go to places like Amazon and all that stuff. I made the book cheaper when you buy it from me because I want to connect with you. I want to see your name. And if you order a signed book, it comes across my desk before it's shipped. So I get to see your name, I get to write your name, I get to sign it, and I get to feel the energy. And hopefully I get to send you some of my energy. But the thing here is when you purchase this book, you also get a DISC assessment and a performance assessment, something that's has a $350 value. I charge $350 for my DISC assessments, which is basically determining your areas of strength in decisiveness, in whether you're methodical and cautious, whether you're integrative you're socially integrated and things of that nature, just how you function, where your strengths are. Are you a people person? Are you highly methodical? All these things, we're going to determine that. We're going to sit down. We're going to determine what it is you want to do most. We're going to pick one thing that if you just had one thing to choose, you really want to do it. And we're going to look at your assessment and determine the best route to take it so that if you never sit down with me again, you've got a starting point. And again, that's a $350 value that you get by purchasing this book. The link is in there. This is an ongoing promotion, but you got to understand that at a certain point, it's going to get to the point where I can't service it because I'm doing every last one of these assessments. It won't be passed off to another person. I'm going to do it. So it's only a limited amount that I can do at any given time. When we reach that amount, I will freeze it until I'm able to work those out and get everybody done. And then I'll look at when I'll be able to do it again. But what I want to do is just touch people. Of course, I would love to work with you with one of my packages. I have one for 12 weeks. I have one for 24 weeks. I have one for 36 weeks. And I have one for 52 weeks, an entire year of working with me, working towards a specific goal and developing. And again, like I said, while I use a lot of different techniques, I'm a mind freak. I know that if you can work your mind, if you can get to your mind and make the necessary adjustments to go after something, you can do anything. And I mean, you can start anywhere. I've started at the bottom, rose, hit the bottom again, and rising again. And I've done it through some unbelievable situations. I mean, I don't care where your money is at right now. I don't care what kind of situation you're going through. You're going through a divorce. You're going through a loss. You've never been successful in business. You're struggling with your, I don't care what it is. You can change your life. You can change your life by changing your thinking. You are what you think. And you become what you think. Your destiny is being laid out. I've said this over and over again. Your thoughts are the genesis, or the beginning of your future, your destiny. How you're thinking, you're literally producing the reality that's coming to you. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And if you've never read that book, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, written at the turn of the 20th century, you've got to read that book. Unbelievably powerful book, very simple. Another book I suggest reading is Think and Grow Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, also written around 1906. These books are powerful, very simple and understood, but it gives you a look at faith from an entirely different level. I mean, everybody should have already read Think and Grow Rich. But The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles is awesome. And finally, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. You've got to read The Alchemist. It's a wonderful story written in a sort of a novel type way that keeps introducing this idea that once you come up with something in your mind and you believe that you can have it and you begin to pursue it, God designed the universe so that the universe begins to conspire to make sure that you have it. Literally, the universe, the entire universe and everything in it is designed to respond to your faith. It's the energy you emit with your thoughts. It's the force that you emit with your thoughts. I tell my clients all the time that your thoughts have physicality. They're not just simply ideas floating around in your head. They produce energy. This energy has been measured, scientifically measured. Your thoughts produce energy. Every cell in your body actually produces energy. And you're emitting energy at either a low frequency, which creates low vibration, or you're emitting it somewhere in between a high frequency, which is an optimal state where you're functioning at the highest possible level, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, physically, and spiritually. And here's the other beautiful thing about it. You heard about the law of attraction. It's real simple, actually. We find that we can study it and actually measure the fact that energy is resonant. What does that mean? Energy resonates with like energy. In order to attract something, you have to be on the frequency that thing is on. Everything is energy. Absolute everything. Even the earth emits an energy frequency. And so when you want to attract something, you've got to find it. Everything worth having, everything that is considered valuable, everything that's considered good and positive has a high frequency. When you're functioning on low frequency, you're dealing with things like envy, jealousy, anger, hatred, bitterness, worry, stress, anxiety. All of those are low frequencies, and they tend to produce and attract low frequencies. That's why you get a bunch of people complaining around each other, because that's what you attract. You're not going to be a complainer and a whiner and attract a go-getter. Even if they look at you and say, man, they're pretty cool, and get around you, it's only so long they can stay around you because the energy is conflicting. Another thing that I love about understanding how to manage your energy is when you keep yourself on a high frequency, you miss a bunch of the BS that's coming at you. Because you got people out there that's looking at you that's not feeling you, and they sending it. And every now and then you're getting one of the moments where you're vulnerable because something's happening, you're down. But I mean, we've learned that if you're able to keep your energy high, it also has a positive effect on your health. meaning that the more you think positive, the more you expect things to happen positively, the more you look forward to life instead of looking at life as an enemy and a force that's happening to you, and you start to see that life is really responding to you, the more healthier you become. It's a science called epigenetics, and it has a positive side and a negative side. You're experiencing life, and the more you experience life on a higher level, the more that genes that lead to disease and all other types of illness are turned off. It's the down regulation and the up regulation of genes. It's called epigenetics, and you can literally upregulate disease through worry, stress, anxiety, frustration, or you can downregulate that gene and upregulate genes that are good for health. And all that is whether a gene is turned off or not. And you turn on genes that are destructive to the body by destructive thinking. And you turn on positive health. It's been proven through a number of studies. Most of you have heard about the, God, man, why am I, that's why I don't do things at night, because I done burnt my brain. But there are a number of different tests where they show that just the way that you think opens up healing. The placebo test is one where you've got one group taking a real pharmaceutical grade drug and another one taking a sugar pill or a placebo. And they are all based in interviewing them, they all have a certain expectation of healing, and based within with 3 to 5% percentage rate, they're all getting better, even though one is only taking a placebo. So the true nature of the healing is coming from the faith that you're being healed and not what you're taking. And it gets real. And one day I'm going to do a master course on that, quantum physics, energy, and all of that. And we're going to talk about it and really understand just how in control of your life you are. You're not in control of every situation and circumstance, but you're definitely in control of how you handle it. You're in control of what you do. And this is the beautiful thing about things and about life. And then I'm going to get off of here because I got some other things I need to do. But here's the beautiful thing about life. You have a destiny. It's written in your design. It's expressed in your purpose. And the beautiful thing about destiny is its very definition says that the more you try to stop it, you only ensure that it happens. That means there's absolutely nothing that this world or this life can put in front of you that can curb your destiny. You're the only one that can stop you from reaching your destiny by believing that you can't, by stopping, by quitting, by giving up. And that's what happens. But if you believe, if you stay focused, if you get up, even after I've made some poor decisions. I've done some things. I've allowed my arrogance to push me into setbacks. But the wonderful thing about it is when I wake up, my poor decisions, my wrong turns, my failures hasn't disqualified me from living in my assignment, for living in my purpose, for pushing forward. Every time I wake up in the morning, I wake up with a passion because I have something for which to live. I have something for which to push forward. I have something to give the world. And that's what I get excited about. And every last one of you has this same thing. There's something in you that you have not done yet that you need to do. There's something inside of you yearning to come out, and it's been quenched by negative talk. It's been quenched by low expectations. It's been quenched by being around the wrong people and having the wrong people in your circle. Now's time, right now. Every second counts, 86,400 seconds in one day, and every last one of them has purpose. Stop thinking that these moments are casual. Stop thinking that you've got time. Stop putting it off until this happens, until this person, I'm going to wait till we got an empty nest. I'm going to wait until my money gets right. I'm going to wait till there's a better interest rate. I'm going to wait until there's a better situation on the tax front. I'm going to wait and I'm going to wait, and you're going to look up and years are going to pass by. And you're going to look up one day and it's 20 years down the line and you haven't pursued this thing. You're going to look up, it's 30 years. You're going to look up and you're 60, 65. And you're going to have all this time behind you that you could have been doing what you were designed to do, but you kept making excuses. But you know what? Even then, this is the beautiful part. If you're still breathing, there's a reason for you to be here. And even then, there's this redemptive thing that happens when you decide to live in your purpose. It's the fullness of the expression of your design that's able to come out no matter where in life. There is no I'm too old. it doesn't exist. But I would want to be living in my passion as much as I can. And I had to learn this, you know, I was out chasing the quote unquote American dream. And I tell people all the time that the first half of my life was about me, but the second half, it's about living in my purpose. It's about leaving a legacy. It's about having something that I've done and gave this world that will speak for me long after I'm gone. Something that my great grandkids will be able to look up and read about and watch some of these videos and look at some of the things that I've been able to do and say, man, if Pawpaw could do that, then I can. And that's the thing. Stop sitting in the shadows of doubt and start standing up. Look, I didn't mean to go this long, but I love what I do. And right now, if you get this book, you can sign up, get the book, and you're going to get free disc assessment and a free performance assessment, a $350 value. And I'm going to do that until I fill up my calendar. And I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. This is my way of giving back. You know, I believe everybody should invest in themselves. And I think a good way of investing in themselves is to spend money for a book that by itself will empower them, and then get something else on side of that at no charge that will empower them. And hey, let's make this a powerful closeout to a year so that we go into the new year already on fire and not having to make resolutions that we won't keep. With that being said, I'm jumping off of here. You guys have an unbelievable day, and I look forward to working with whoever takes advantage of this. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.